Also, a big topic of conversation there, the deportations ongoing. Carolyn Leavitt in the White House emphasizing the need to do more when it comes to deportations. Now, like we discussed in the last hour, there are members of the Democratic Party not worried about deportations. They're actually trying to bring illegal immigrants home. Maxine Dexter is one of them. She's one of the 4 members of Congress down there. She has been very vocal about this. You see Maxwell Frost there talking to the cameras. A lot of the media very interested in this, of course, as well. And this trip by the 4 Democrat members of the House comes after we saw Senator Chris Van Hollen go down to El Salvador and try to rescue Garcia. Let's welcome in now Kate Monroe to talk more about this. And Kate, you know, it's interesting to see these the members of the press corps asking these questions. Like, you know, they're not so much advocating on behalf of Abrego Garcia anymore, but they're still very curious about why, for some reason, the Trump administration wants to deport illegal aliens.
Yeah, it's very confusing. I don't understand where the confusion lies. Like, I was on the other day on the radio and I said, this should be the equivalent of trying to put a turd back in your butt. Why are you going down there grandstanding and gaslighting and just making a complete spectacle and idiots out of America? Why don't you spend the same amount of time and effort to go get back the 2 Marines that are in prison in Russia for very petty crimes? I don't see anybody worried about our own citizens stuck somewhere else. Why all the effort here? I don't think any of it is genuine. Everything they do is disingenuous, and I'm just flat tired of it.
It's quite an interesting analogy that you gave us there, Kate. Just trying to reconcile.
You can count on me for interesting.
You are always interesting. That's why we love having you here. But one thing I think we've also, people that have been following the story and paying close attention to what Van Hollen has been doing and some of these Democrats, the conversation has kind of changed. They're not so much advocating for him to be this Maryland man anymore. Now they want due process, which is interesting because the Democrats were never interested in due process when President Trump was being railroaded or during the January 6th political persecutions. So now they're interested in due process for an illegal immigrant.
I don't think they're interested in due process. That's just what they say. Much of what they say is just to get their base to rally around them. Of course, they're going to go act like they care about keeping them here and giving them due process. I don't think they could care less other than for them to be able to vote for them.
All right, Kate, stand by. We're going to get back to you in just a moment. We want to talk some more about these domestic violence against Teslas, another issue caught on camera. This guy works for the state of Minnesota. We'll introduce you to next. Well, after the bell closes today, Tesla will release their first quarter earnings, and many are wondering if the continued protest and his role with Doge will affect the results. For that, though, like a lot of stocks, Tesla stock is up today, something we'll be keeping an eye on. Also, a man employed by Tim Walz's Minnesota Department of Human Services was arrested in Minneapolis for vandalizing at least 6 Tesla vehicles, causing around $20,000 in damage. Now, despite being caught on those built-in cameras, no charges have been filed yet. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office continues their review. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara has expressed frustration over the delay, emphasizing that each incident involved felony-level damage. Now, you know, we were talking potentially about domestic terrorism charges here. Seems like this guy's getting a little bit of a slide for now. We'll follow this story closely. Joining us for more conversation is Kate Monroe. A state employee, Kate, now has been arrested for this.
It does not surprise me whatsoever. I actually almost had my car keyed the other day. I drive a Tesla X, and a guy had his key out ready to put it on my car. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm not doing anything." Yeah, he was very worried when suddenly the owner of the car was standing there. I don't understand. Like in any other country, when you do something this egregious, you could lose one of your hands, could be gone. Here, we're like, I don't know if we should charge him. I mean, we don't really like Elon that much. So, you know what? Go ahead and key cars a little bit, maybe burn them down. That seems to be the sentiment. Why is that okay in our country? And furthermore, why are you mad at Elon Musk? Like, really take an inventory of the reasons you're actually mad at the man, and then look at yourself in the mirror and go, I am just being completely insane. So I would like to see all of these people get charged, because it's like Sun Tzu. You have to really punish one person where everyone else goes, you know what, maybe I don't want to find out.
Yeah, you know, I think about people like Mark Kelly, too, who made such a big deal about trading in his Tesla for a gas-guzzling car. And they'll put that stuff on social media, but they will never condemn these attacks. I think we still only have Ro Khanna, the congressman from California, who's been the only one really vocal and forthcoming about that this stuff shouldn't be happening. And I think a lot of Democrats want to pretend like it's not happening because it's not a good look for them. And I think there obviously will be a lot of eyeballs on this the earnings today from Tesla. So we'll see where that goes. Also, there's a clip I want to play for you here, too, because we're starting to, see progressives getting angry now. We were all angry. We knew this was happening a long time ago, okay, but progressives are waking up and they're having this moment of realization about how bad Joe Biden's mental decline was down the home stretch of the 2024 campaign. Elizabeth Warren was asked about it recently on a podcast, and watch this.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. He was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Why is she giggling about this, though?
Because people giggle when they're nervous when they get caught doing something stupid. You start doing that when you're a very little child. When you get caught in an idiotic lie, your first reaction is, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I better start laughing to deflect this. I'm so glad he called her out. It was actually hilarious. He's like, standing on your feet, that's sort of like, let's check off the bare minimum box here. Good for him for roasting her a little bit. Maybe they should all go, maybe we're in a new era of media. Maybe I should just embarrass myself every chance I get.
Yeah, I don't think Elizabeth Warren was prepared for the level of scrutiny she got there on the I think it's Talking Softly podcast. And also, real quick, Kate, we only have like 30 seconds left. Do you think Joe Biden is photoshopped in his Easter picture here? That is the speculation. Is this real Joe Biden? Why is he the only one in a suit and tie and everyone else seems to be a little more casual?
That's not even a good Photoshop. Everyone else is just chilling, living their best life on Easter. And that's like clearly from something last year. They couldn't even find him in a T-shirt. I can't with these people. I cannot. It's good.
Right.
It's good, though. Good try.
The mystery lingers on whether this is a real photo or not. All right, Kate, great to see you. As always, thanks for joining us.